the Hadzabe, the Cape buffalo is not a familiar target, even though it can provide a large amount of food in a short time. This story is not about strength or dramatic encounters, but about a different question: when does more become a problem? For the Hadzabe, facing a Cape buffalo is never an everyday matter. The mere presence of this animal near their living area is enough to draw the attention of the entire community. Cape buffalo move in herds, are massive in size, and create a very real sense of pressure for anyone nearby. When the decision to face the animal is made, the atmosphere shifts immediately. People become more focused, speak less, and observe more. There is no rush and no sense of excitement. Instead, there is a controlled tension where every movement serves a clear purpose. Those involved are adult men who are experienced in tracking large animals and understand how they move across open landscapes. No one steps forward to command, but no one acts independently either. Each person holds a suitable position, making sure they can see one another and always maintain a safe distance.
Nena ukwape masi gege kena na yako kwa cha kunya ya meta azane ho atoko azane ko fe no ko achaika.
The approach is slow. The group does not advance directly, nor do they apply constant pressure. Instead, they move in rhythm with the Cape buffalo herd, observing direction, speed, and how the animals respond to their surroundings. The goal is not to get closer at any cost, but to keep the situation within control at all times. The tension of this moment does not come from action, but from waiting. Waiting for the animals to move, waiting for the right moment, waiting for small signals that everything is still within safe limits. Throughout this process, the hunters barely communicate verbally. Eye contact and brief gestures are enough for the group to understand one another. What makes this encounter intense is not its violence, but the fact that it must never cross a line. Everyone is aware that a single misstep could completely change the situation. That is why restraint and coordination become the most important elements. Facing a Cape buffalo, therefore, does not resemble a loud or chaotic hunt. It feels more like a test of calmness and collective rhythm. This is a rare moment in Hadzabe life, where tension is clearly present, yet always kept within limits the community can accept. This video only touches on a small part of Hadzabe life. Subscribe if you want to continue exploring. When Cape buffalo are no longer an immediate concern, the Hadzabe quickly shift their focus to a very practical question. How can this large food source be used properly without disrupting the everyday life of the entire community? A large food source does not only bring short-term fullness. It also comes with many questions that need careful thought: who will eat, for how long, and how to ensure that this period of eating does not force the community to change its familiar daily rhythm. For the Hadzabe, answering these questions is just as important as the moment of facing the animal itself. Food preparation happens in a focused and orderly way. There is no display, no sense of having more than usual. Everyone understands that the goal is to use this food for the present moment, not to stretch it at all costs. This approach helps prevent the entire community from having to adjust its routine simply because a large food source has appeared.
Kola.
When they return to camp, the food does not belong only to those who took part in the encounter. It is shared with everyone, including those who stayed behind. The sharing happens openly and clearly, with no priority portions and nothing kept for individuals. The meal becomes a collective activity without carrying anyone's personal mark.
Ako ama bami. Ako ama bami. Ani. Itu lagu kamu ubah itu. Cai. Sui iu gela. Tengok kucing nanti ku foto.
One important detail is that the Hadzabe do not try to turn a large food source into a foundation for many days ahead. Once immediate needs are met, the community gradually returns to familiar foods such as honey, gathering, and everyday foraging activities. The rhythm of life is neither extended nor compressed because of the appearance of a large resource. This approach helps the community avoid dependence on rare, high-energy situations. Instead of seeing Cape buffalo as a solution to food needs, they treat it as a temporary supplement, placed in the right position within an already stable system of daily life. From the outside, a large food source may look like abundance. But for the Hadzabe, what matters more is keeping everything aligned with a familiar rhythm. This story is not really about the animal. It is about how a community handles abundance with restraint, so that the next day, life can continue as usual. This piece has only focused on Cape buffalo. Hit subscribe if you want to explore more sides of hunting life. When Cape buffalo are placed within the full foraging system of the Hadzabe, one thing becomes very clear. This is not a food source meant for long-term reliance, nor is it used to replace everyday subsistence activities.
Aku nak bela muku ketika kuasa masalah. Ini avocado. Kata nak eu bela aku. Asa bela u kako kene chitambo gabi chikoko. Muka sashina mena. Kawai chaka muka sashina.
Is it the soft with the hard wood? No, I think it's longer. A longer stem?
Hadzabe life is built around food sources that are regular and cause minimal disruption. Honey, gathering, and small game provide daily energy without requiring large groups or major changes to routine. These activities happen continuously, creating a stable rhythm for the entire community.
Kau kotoko kat I, apa? Cairan upu, cairan ale hak, jangan, kau jangan. Saya gwek sasa, ebe gwek. Yes, indah tu cacing wagalako.
Cape buffalo are different. They are a large food source, but irregular, difficult to access, and impossible to repeat frequently. If placed at the center of the system, everything would have to shift around it. More people would be involved, time would be compressed, and other foraging activities could be disrupted. For the Hadzabe, that does not create long-term benefit. For this reason, Cape buffalo are seen only as a supplemental resource at specific moments, not a solution to food security. After the meat is used and shared, the community immediately returns to familiar routines. There is no long-term adjustment, no planning around the next hunt, and no expectation that such situations will happen again. Subscribe if you want to follow the full series on how the Hadzabe hunt, eat, and share food.
Tak aku judge. Tak tahu nak apa. Kapiten ni, kapiten ni ayon. Mulia kau bengat tahu. Mulia kau bengat tahu. Sini pe. Sini pe. Hot.
Placing Cape buffalo in the right position helps the community avoid dependence. When no one relies on a rare and energy-intensive food source, the pressure to repeat high-risk situations never builds. Instead, the Hadzabe maintain a flexible foraging system where each food source has a clear role and clear limits. More importantly, this approach protects the community's labor capacity. In a natural environment, the ability to find food depends directly on each person's health and readiness. Avoiding reliance on large but unstable resources ensures that people can continue daily activities without becoming overburdened. For this reason, Cape buffalo do not represent abundance or strength in Hadzabe life. They exist at the edge of the food system, used when appropriate and then placed back in their proper position. It is this controlled approach, clear, practical, and unemotional, that allows the Hadzabe to maintain stability in daily life and survive sustainably over time. Cape buffalo clearly reveal one important thing about Hadzabe life. Long-term survival does not come from large food sources, but from knowing how to place them properly within the rhythm of everyday life. If you want to keep following this series on how the Hadzabe hunt, eat, and share food to maintain stability, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes.